We're back with more on Real Estate Update with James Wedgeworth. You were talking about how things are now, harken back to the crazy times, the height of the market, COVID. I mean, people, you were getting multiple bids on houses.
Most every house we listed from the hottest 4 months were January, February, March, and April of 22. And just about every house we listed, we would get multiple offers. I'm not talking about 2 offers. I'm talking about 10 offers.
Crazy.
And it was crazy, you know.
And that's not happening now, is it?
No, it's back to, that was crazy. And now we're back to what I call normal good.
Good.
You know, where I just sold one this morning for $10,000 above list price. That's the first time I've done that in a while.
Okay, above list.
Above list.
So have you been hitting, generally, are you seeing homes go for maybe a little bit under list
A little
now?
bit under list is
Yep.
a function of how long it's been on the market.
Right.
As we all know, the longer your house stays on the market, the less you get for it.
Sure.
You know, but it's still good though, because we're still getting offers. We have to negotiate a little bit. Back in the crazy time, we had no home inspections, no financing contingencies, nothing. The only way you get the house is cash,
Boom.
as is, and with a healthy deposit, and let the seller pick the closing date.
Okay.
That's the way it was.
Not now, though.
Not now. It's back to normal goods.
Which would be, you want a home inspection.
Yeah.
Gee, can they fix such and such before we move in?
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
you know, I'm gonna get a mortgage. Usually it's not a problem getting a mortgage. Back in the crazy time, nobody would take an offer that had a mortgage contingency on it. So what I told people, I said, you sure you can get the mortgage? I'm 100% sure. How do you know you're 100% sure? You better be 100% sure, because you're getting ready to make an offer. It's not contingent upon financing. And if you can't get the mortgage, you're gonna lose your deposit. But I
No one
never had
wants to
anybody
do
lose.
that.
Never had anybody lose.
Yeah.
Never had anybody lose their deposit.
Good. That's good. So, I mean, you would say we're in the back to the norm.
Norm,
Still-
good norm. Good
yeah,
norm.
a good norm. And I mean, not harkening back to where we had all the foreclosures. When was
No.
that, like 2010?
It was 2010 to 2015.
Yeah. I mean, that was
In
kind of a little bleak.
In 2010, you don't believe this statistic, but 1 out of all 4 houses, 1 out of every 4 homes that sold on Hilton was a bank foreclosure
That
home.
is unbelievable.
Killed the market though.
Now, let me ask you this. It's local, and now we're saying we're in a better spot now than the national numbers. Were we in a worse spot than the national numbers back then, or was that really the trend nationwide?
It was a trend nationwide,
Okay.
but we were probably a little higher than nationally because we had a high percentage of second homes. People would lose their second home, keep their primary home.
Right. I mean, they
So-
just walk away, right?
Walk away.
Walk away, Renee. Well, not necessarily
I was
Renee.
thinking-
I want to ask you, how important is it let's start with the seller. How important is it for me to pick the right agent? And then I want to find out, what do you look for? I mean, I know you might pitch yourself, and that's okay. But what do you really need to look for?
My wife would, she would.
Yeah,
pick
well,
me.
we wouldn't understand that
Yeah.
too. But what do you need to really look for when you're kind of shopping around for an agent to help sell your home?
Okay, the first thing I would tell people to look for, and I'm not throwing rocks at people new in the business, but if you own a home in a certain area, I would want to know, how many homes have you sold in my area?
You want a success rate.
Yeah, what's your success rate? How many homes have you sold? Give me a list of the homes you sold. And a large percent of the realtors have never sold a home in a certain development. So why would you want to work with somebody that's never done that? It's kind of like I tell people, it's like surgery. If you're going in for open heart surgery, you want to make sure the guy's doing it has a long track record.
And maybe
has
does
done
10
it
in a row in a day rather
Yeah.
than once every few
every now and
months.
then, you know.
Okay, so let me ask you this. You say, as far as have they sold in the community where you live, what about price range? If I look at how many sales someone's had and they've sold, even if they exist now, $500,000 homes, and a lot of those, but none, you know, 2 million plus, would I want to stay with someone who's selling
Yeah,
the
you
higher
want to
end?
sell with somebody that has a track record in your area. I always tell people the worst thing you can do is list a house with a friend, list a house with the lady you play tennis with, because they're on the tennis courts with you every day instead of out selling your house. You know, you got to make sure that, I can't tell you the number of times I've had people call me and say, well, my sister's a realtor, but Lord knows I don't want to list with her. you know.
Wow, yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
All right, when we come back, will you tell us too if I'm a buyer what I should research before I
Okay.
grab someone, okay?
Thank you.
And we're going to have much more in just a moment.